Dear students, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first part of the video with respect to introduction to entrepreneurship. Kindly watch the video till the end and give like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please put your comments in the comment box. So now let us look into the introduction part of an entrepreneur here. So entrepreneur is relatively a new term. This has become a buzzword in the today's economic literature. Why? Because without an entrepreneur, there is no any production of the goods and there is no any revenue to the government also. So understanding of the entrepreneurship and entrepreneur has become a very complex phenomena. So here the entrepreneur may have the qualification, or sometimes he may be a person may become an entrepreneur because of his qualities of being an entrepreneur here. So the word entrepreneur is derived from a French language which means entrepreneur, which means that between the taker and go between, that is to undertake and meant to designate an organizer of a musical or other entertainments. So in other words, to say he is the one who gathers all the resources for undertaking an economic activity. An entrepreneur is an innovator and a game changer. Always he does things in a new fashion, in a new way, and he always having a creativity to bring into the market, and it leads to a game changer which will have new developments in the business arena. So he uses the factors of production to achieve his personal as well as social obligations. The personal motive is to earn profit, and whereas the social obligations means when he undertakes an enterprise, he generates jobs. So and thereby it will help in reducing the unemployment problem in the society. And the standard of living of the people will be increased when an entrepreneur produces the variety of the goods. Now let us look into some definitions here. One of the famous definitions given by the Oxford Dictionary in the year 1897, an entrepreneur is the one who undertakes an enterprise, especially a contractor acting as intermediary between the capital and the labor. So here now let us look into this definition here. The one who starts the business, here the enterprise is nothing but the business. So he always act as an intermediary between the capital and the labor. A person who wants to start a business may not be having the financial resources, and he may not be having the required skill. So he will borrow the loan from the people who have the funds or who have the finance, or he may borrow from the financial institutions, and he asks and he needs the people who are having skills. Sometimes even he may require the unskilled labor also here. So the one more definition is given by Richard Cantlin, who says here, an entrepreneur is the agent who buys the factors of production at certain prices in order to combine them into a product with a view to selling it at uncertain prices in the future. Here, the factors of production is nothing but land, labor, capital. He combines all the factors of production such as land, labor, capital, and organization. So the purpose of combining these factors of production is nothing but to produce the products. And those products will be sold out in the market at uncertain prices. That means here the prices of the goods which are manufactured by an entrepreneur are not predetermined. So the pricing strategy depends upon the market conditions, and thereby he is going to earn the profit here. Now let us look into the one more definition as given by J.B. Say, who says the economic agent who unites all means of production and thus produces a product. By selling the production in the market, he pays interest on capital, rent on land, wages to laborers, and remaining is a share of profit. That means here, this definition focuses on the reward of the factors of production here. So here, the entrepreneur is an economic agent here, because who is always concerned with the manufacturing of the goods as well as selling of those goods with an intention to earn profit. So he unites all the means of production and thus produces the goods here, and those goods are sold in the market. Why they are to be sold in the market? Because an entrepreneur is required to pay the reward to the land in the form of interest on capital, and rent on land, wages to laborers, and remaining is share of profit. So now let us look into the one more definition as given by Joseph Schumpeter. He says, an entrepreneur is the one who innovates, raises money, assembles input, chooses managers, and sets the commercial organization going with his ability to identify and is able to fulfill such economic opportunities here. So when you look into this definition, it says that an entrepreneur should have the creativity, and he needs money when he doesn't has his own capital. In such case, he has to borrow the funds from the various financial institutions, and he needs to assemble those inputs. Sometimes he may go for purchase of the inputs, and he may be indulged in assembling them and ultimately converting into a finished product here. And he chooses the manager, so thereby he perform the functions of human resource. That means here the one of the functions of the management is staffing and sets the commercial organization, and so that he is going to launch the organization going with his ability to identify and is able to fulfill such economic opportunities here. So always an entrepreneur should grab those economic opportunities with an intention to earn profit here. So the one more definition is given by the Peter Drucker, the one of the management thinkers. He says an entrepreneur is one who always searches for change, responds to it, and exploits to it as an opportunity. Innovation is a specific tool of an entrepreneur, the means by which they exploit change as an opportunity for a different business or a service here. Today you may be knowing none of the entrepreneurs has imagined that there will be a situation of lockdown, and the entrepreneurs have used this lockdown opportunity through the maybe like the online teaching, or it may be like online sale of the goods today. You may be knowing today the many .com companies have come. They have used such an opportunity here. So always innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneur, the means by which they exploit change. You may be knowing nobody has heard of the use of the sanitizer. Nobody has heard the use of the masks in the present context. So the entrepreneur, he makes use of such an opportunity here. You may even there is one more example that today we find this, say for example, the self-service system hotels. When people, they don't have that much of enough of time to serve them, so today you find many darshanis have come. So these are the opportunities which are available to an entrepreneur to make use, so that ultimately he is going to achieve his objective. So the ultimate objective is nothing but the earning of the profit here. Now let us look into the qualities of a successful entrepreneur here. Here the entrepreneur, of course, he requires a qualification, and even without qualification also, if he has the qualities to become an entrepreneur, he will be a successful entrepreneur. You might be knowing the big business tycoon called as Dhirubhai Ambani, who has never gone to school, but she was a successful entrepreneur. Even you take, for example, the Bill Gates, who happens to be the dropout from the school, but today he has built an empire called as a Microsoft. So the entrepreneur requires the qualification. Even if there is no qualification, they need to have the qualities. So now let us discuss some of the qualities of a successful entrepreneur here. So hard work, of course, continuous efforts makes the man perfect. So there must be continuous practice should take place here. The entrepreneurs should work hard endlessly, especially those who are in the beginning stage. They have to make a lot of efforts to achieve the rate of success here. And failure is a pillar of success. So as and when continuously the entrepreneur puts his efforts, so he is going to achieve his objective. Hard work results into achievement. There is no substitute for hard work. One must have focus to achieve his or vision. So the continuous hard work makes the people to learn from their own mistakes. And when an entrepreneur learns from his own mistakes, he can build his empire. Now, let us go for the one more here, desire for higher achievement. So here the entrepreneurs should have a strong desire to achieve the high goals in the business. This high achievement motive strengthens them to surmount the obstacles. So when you are very much focused on your goal and when you are making sincere efforts to in that direction, so ultimately the fruit will be yielded. So here, whatever the obstacles that come during the course of the running the business here, that has to be addressed by an entrepreneur here. So he needs to devise his own strategies to overcome such obstacles. For example, Sunil Mittal of Bharti Telecom, his entry into mobile sector with the Airtel brand in 1995 has made him really hit the spotlight in the mobile technology in the country. Even you take, for example, the Reliance Jio. Earlier, if there was no Jio, here today, the prices of your the telecom services become very costly. Even if you take, for example, the success story of, or even if you have gone through success story of Vijay Sankeshwar, who has got with a one truck earlier, today he is having more than 10,000 trucks in his business. So always you should aim for the high. Low aim is a crime, but not the failure here. Highly optimistic. An entrepreneur should be having a positive attitude towards the situation. They do not get disturbed by the present situations or the problems faced by them. They must always optimistic for the future that the situation will become favorable to the business in the future here. You may be knowing, say for example, today there is a greater demand for the online teaching aids like a computer or maybe like a tripod or maybe like a mobile. Earlier, if say for example, if the person has stopped producing the tripods, mobile tripods, today it would not have any demand. So the situation may or may not come. Always an entrepreneur must be very much optimistic to achieve his goal here. Then he should be independent. In the means to say, she should not depend upon anybody. He should also work as a worker, and he should also behave like the owner. So the entrepreneurs do not be guided by others to follow their rules. They should be independent in the matters of their business. He should have the ability to take the decisions independently. He has to take his own decision for the establishment and the promotion of the business, and he should be responsible for such a decision. So he need not depend upon the government for the funds. He should see the he should have the ideas to mobilize the funds here. So here he should be an independent here. Then he should have a foresight. The entrepreneur should predict about the future business environment. When you look into in the 1990s, much of the Indian business, they were very much new to the use of the technology. Today, you may be knowing the most of the businesses, they are using the computers. Assume that, say for example, if Narayan Murthy would have stepped back in those days because of his early hurdles in his business, today he would not have built an empire called as Infosys. So he should have a foresightedness. He should think what is going to happen. He should predict what is going to happen in the future in the business. He should always understand the taste, the technological development here, the attitude of the consumers today. You may be knowing, say for example, earlier we were having the chocolates of a Kiss Me bar. Today you might have called a brand called as a Silk Cadbury, which is costly when compared to the Kiss Me. So the taste of the consumer, it is differing from day to day, person to person, region to region. So all those things, they should be forecasted by the entrepreneurs. Even if we look into, say for example, today most of the bakers, they are run by the Carolians. So when they forecasted their demand for their products, and that's why today they have stretched their hands throughout the country. Even if you take for example these pani puri sellers who were basically say originated from Gujarat, now they are running the business throughout the India. So they have forecasted their business so that they have created the demand for their goods. Now an entrepreneur should be a good organizer. As already told in the previous slide, he combines all the factors of production. So various factors of production are owned by different owners here. It is the ability of an entrepreneur who brings together the required resources for setting up of an enterprise and then produces the goods. Sometimes he may not be owning the land, but still then he should make an effort to get to that land on a rental basis, so that he is going to start his own business. And he should search in the skilled as well as unskilled laborers for running his business. So then only he can be a successful entrepreneur. Now, the next one comes here, innovative. An entrepreneur should have a creativeness. Production is driven by the customer's requirements today. In the early days, you may be knowing the black and white TV is converted into color TV. Today, the color TV, which was available in the earlier days in the doom way, now it is available in the smart televisions. So the entrepreneurs initiate the research and innovative activities to produce the goods to satisfy the customers' changing requirements. Today, the customers expect the delivery of the goods, the information at his fingertips. So that's why today you may find always every entrepreneur wants to grow, wants to overcome the obstacles. So that's why you find today the toll-free call on all the packages of the products, so that you can put before your suggestions for the improvement of the product today. So the research centers or the institutes established by the Tata, Birla, Kirloskar, etc. are the examples of the innovativeness. You may be knowing how it is today. Innovativeness is most important in the business today. When you look into the market, there are 100 brands of the soaps and toothpaste are there. I think perhaps you may be knowing in the early days, Colgate was available only in white color, right? Today you find the number of brands of toothpaste in a variety of the colors with many ingredients like a salt, etc. today, right? So the innovativeness is innovativeness is must in the business today. Here, when you take, always customers expects improvement in the products produced by the entrepreneurs. So those things should be understood by an entrepreneur, so that he can produce those goods which are expected by the consumers. So then only he can earn the market share here. Then the next one comes here, perseverance. Entrepreneurs do not give up their effort, because always the growth has got obstacles. A person who wants to grow should overcome those obstacles. An entrepreneur, even if he fail in the early stage, he should not be disheartened. Instead, he should make the efforts to overcome that problems here. An entrepreneur should take the failure as a learning experience. The one who learns from the mistakes can grow, can reach to the sky's height. The learning is from the own mistakes. With the dedicated efforts, we will overcome those such mistakes here. So always one should accept the mistakes and learn from those mistakes and make the sincere efforts to overcome here. Then the next one comes here, he should have a team spirit. And then what is this, a team spirit? When you look into the team, it is acronized as a TEAM. So every alphabet in the team, it has got its own relevance here. So the T stands for together. So you need to unite with everybody to achieve your goal. E for everyone. You are making efforts to achieve, for the A for achievers and M for more. So when all are united and working for each other, that will achieve more and more results. Take for example, an entrepreneur should work for the employees. The employees should work for an entrepreneur. So then only it will they will have the synergy benefit here. So here synergy, always we mathematically we know 2 plus 2 equals to 4. But in synergy, what happens here? 2 plus 2 equal to 5. That means here the part is greater than the whole is greater than the parts here. So a team is a group of individuals who work in a face-to-face relationship to achieve the common goal. Say for example, the employee, when an entrepreneur is having say 1,000 employees, he should look after the needs of all those 1,000 employees. And when their needs are looked after by an entrepreneur here, the employees will take care of the entrepreneur's goals here. So they share collective accountability for the outcome of the team effort. In the team, everyone is important. Say for example, in a game like cricket, all the 11 players, they have to discharge their own duties. Then only the match can be won by the team here. Suppose if, say for example, if the batsman he does only batting and does not field, then the purpose will not be served here. So that's why all the team members, they have to put their efforts according to their ability. So then only it can be achieved here.